Let's get right into it. We're going to start with HD Social at 24 frames per second at a duration of 10 seconds. Now we're going to swipe up and carry our photo gallery to one side. We are going to press and hold to eliminate the background and drag it into Procreate Dreams. Now that we are into Procreate Dreams, adjust your photo accordingly. Now add a track above your picture and drag that track below your picture track. Now we're going to open drawing mode and I'm just going to color pick on his shirt just to get a shade of that same blue as the background. I'm going to press and hold and drag that color in the back, and I'm going to tap on that layer and fill duration, then exit drawing mode and hide the picture for now. So I'm going to add a track above our blue background picture, and then I'm going to add a text. Double click on your text in order to edit style. Now select a font style of your choice. Then I'm going to go to format and click the outline option. And I'm going to adjust my sizing of my font. Now I'm going to go back into edit style and pick a color, a blue color for now. Now I'm going to click on that track, click track options, then duplicate to have another copy above it. I'm going to select that copy and drag it underneath to position it. Now you want to repeat your steps a couple times by clicking on the track options and duplicating that text and reposition it accordingly to how you want it. Finish with that, scroll to the very top, and I want one of these lines to stand out, so I'm going to edit the style of the font and I'm going to remove the outline so that it can be filled. Alright, so to keep the consistency of it, I duplicated this track again and I turned that bottom layer into outline version and I changed my color to black. So I edited the text, change the color to black, and then change the formatting to outline. Now I find this looks a whole lot better. Alright, so when I'm watching it now, I'm realizing, oh my gosh, the blue is just different from his shirt, and the OCD in me is just not allowing this to rest. So I color picked, I went into drawing mode and color picked his shirt again. And I decided to save this color with the intention of going into the formatting and finding this color. But when I went into to format this text style, I realized there's no option to click from where you saved your color, which is like a downside. Like, how am I to get the exact shade? So I'm there trying to find the shade just by eyeballing it, and that wasn't working out. So I had to go back into the text formatting, clicked on drawing mode, and I looked at where the color of this shirt was positioned on the color wheel and went back into the text editing and tried to find anywhere close to the shade. I think this is one of the limitations, is missing that. We should be able to pick from a previous color so that we can get our text in that exact same color. So maybe they'll add that in the future. Alright, so now I went back and I changed the color of each line, and then I hid all the text lines, and now I'm going to start to animate each line. But just before I continue, I'm going to group those two layers, the one that I have the solid color and the black outline, group that into one so that will be easy to animate. When animating the first text layer, I'm going to drag that first layer outside of my stage, then click on the playhead, then move and scale to set that position as my first keyframe. Then I'm going to go in about 5 frames, move it to the top, and set my keyframe to where it will end. Now go ahead and click on your second text layer, drag that outside of your stage area, set your keyframe outside of the stage area, your first keyframe, by tapping on the playhead, tap on move, move and scale. Then go to where you want your keyframe to end. Alright, so at this point I was trying to find a nice position. I don't want it to come in too fast behind the first one, nor too slow. So I was playing around with the position of the keyframe to check the timing of when it comes in after the first line. So after a while, I resorted to at least 5 frames after the last keyframe of the previous line. So the closer it is, the faster the speed will be. The further apart it is, the slower it will take to reach. So at this point, I'm setting it 5 frames apart, as you can see here with the line. And I found that timing was a good one. So the next step would be to go to your third layer, and we will repeat the steps for all your lines. Drag it outside the stage area, set that first keyframe, tapping on move, move and scale, and then going to the end, add a plus 5 frames from your last keyframe and set that keyframe to end. And reposition it underneath the previous line, just like this. And do that for all your 9 text layers. After finishing those, I went to my picture and animated the picture by having it sliding. So I dragged it off of the stage, set that position off stage as a first keyframe, and moved in for where I wanted it to enter, and set the keyframe, the end keyframe there. Then I dragged it across to where I want the end keyframe, where I want my picture to come in at that end keyframe. And I set my easing to ease out because I wanted to start quickly and slow down at the end. And always be sure to replay over and over to make sure it's exactly what you want. Alright, so I think I wanted like a nice effect, a blur effect when it's sliding in. So go to the beginning of your track, click on your playhead, click on filter and click Gaussian blur, and we're going to start off the Gaussian blur at about 1 to 2%. And here I'm just playing with it, watching to see where I want that blur to come in, and I settled on 2%. So I wanted to start off with a blur and then fade into focus. Just like that. So in order to move your keyframe, you can press and hold on it and drag it along your track. Alright, so far I'm satisfied with this. So now I want everything to disappear and come off screen. So I'm going to go to my last text layer. I'm going to split it there. And for every 5 frames or so, I'm going to split the track as shown. So the first track was split there. The second track now is going to be split right at the end point plus 5 frames. The third track is going to be split by the previous endpoint, and then you plus 5 frames and you split it there a second time, just like this. And I will do this for all my layers. Now I'll be starting with the picture to take this off screen, so I will click on the playhead, move and scale to set my first keyframe. Then I'm going to drag it onto the keyframe layer, move the picture off of this stage and set that last keyframe. And I'm going to set my easing to ease out, so I want it to go out quickly and slow down when it's outside the stage area. So now that I'm playing it back, I find that it's just moving a bit too sharp, the new drop. So I'm going to add an opacity and have it disappear while it's going away. So in order to do that, I will go to the beginning of where I split the track, set that opacity at 100, go to the very end of the split section, and then bring that opacity to 0. So on each text layer, remember where I split it every 5 frames at the beginning of this first split, I'm going to have the opacity set at 100%. So I'm going to set that keyframe, tap on the playhead, tap on filter, tap on opacity, keep that at 100, then go to the end, set that keyframe and move that opacity to 0%. And do that for all the layers. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have learned anything, please feel free to click like. And thank you for subscribing if you have already done so. And if you have not, please feel free to do so. It will help you to see our videos when we upload them. So feel free to also check out all our other video tutorials. And thank you so much once again. Alright, see you in the next video.